Hey there guys, what's going on? And welcome to a very important video for those of you that are struggling on the game right now and you don't know what to do with your custom tactics and player instructions. And what I'm calling these top 100 destroyer tactics, because I've been facing a few top 100 players from FIFA 19 and they've been getting beat. Obviously my team's quite good, but I was using the same tactics on the RTG and I just fell short of elite with a few games spare, which kind of sucks. I choked, that was on me. But these tactics are pretty decent and they're safe and secure, and that's key. If you're struggling on the game, these are gonna be good for you. So please do leave a like, and if you are needing game codes or anything game related, G2 Your Plays link can be found in the description. And if you're wanting to keep up to date with football news around the world, one football, links also below, free app, go and download it. You ready? Let's go and see the tactics. So on this account, after I had played 30 games over on the RTG, we did another 30 and we finished on 25 wins. Now it would have been 26, but for some reason I was messing about in one of the games on stream and it cost me and I lost. Well, oh well. But 25 wins is still Elite 2, so I will upload those rewards tomorrow. So hopefully we get something nice with the red picks and all that good stuff. But more importantly, boys, the custom tactics and how do I play with them? I think that's important. So let's go and check them out. Custom tactics, I use this team in a 4-2-3-1 and I really want to like break it down and explain reasonings behind why I use certain things. So 4-2-3-1. Defensive style on balance. Now, drop back on FIFA 19 is something that I use and abuse, and one of the reasons why I liked it so much is your players just stood there and they didn't carry themselves out of position, and with decent player switching, you could keep a good structure at the back. On FIFA 20, because it's like fairly difficult to break down your opponents when they are all the way back, I like to catch my opponents on the transition. So just when they're about to catch me on a counter attack, if I have it on drop back, I'm far too passive in those like attacking areas or even in the midfield. So on balance, you never know what you're getting. It could be press after possession loss, press on heavy touch, and that's where the AI take up good positions that really aid you and assist you in winning back the ball in those dangerous areas. So balance for me just is a little bit more aggressive, but not too extreme where I'm using pressure on heavy touch every single time, and your opponent, if you're coming up against someone who's a good player, after a while they realize, well, in that situation they're going to be pushing me and they'll pass it around. So I wouldn't recommend press on heavy touch or press after possession loss against better players, against worse players for sure, but balance is what works well for me. Now with the width, if you're using 4 width or 3 width or whatever, like if you're lowering that, you've really got to take it upon yourself to start player switching to your left back, left defensive mid, or on the opposite side, and put support manually. If you're on a 5, you won't really have to do that as much, and then 6, 7, so on. I wouldn't recommend this stuff here because, well, 5 is decent. 6, 7, oh, it's a little bit risky because then your 2 centre backs start opening up, and once again, if you come up against someone that knows how to pass and move, they're going to split you open and it's going to cause you issues. I've had quite a lot of success with 4 just to keep myself nice and compact, but 5 isn't so bad with a low depth. So you might want to experiment, but for me, I use on 4, and then with the depth, I've played well on 4. When I want to get back into a game, I whack this up, but around about 3 is the sweet spot for me. It gives me that stability, and like I can rely on my players to be back when I've lost the ball in, again, attacking areas or in the midfield. So I prefer personally 3, but I'm always looking to experiment. Then the offensive style, I've always left this on balance, and even on FIFA 19, it just forces you to play quickly with long ball, to find players in space. Like, it's good, but I don't think I would use it as soon as the game starts. If I'm needing a goal, maybe I'll switch to long ball. Fast build up is just not really a good idea, because if you come up against an elite player, a top 100 player, they're going to abuse you. Possession is far too passive. I use that on FIFA 19 and I just don't like it. And then balance is just a bit of everything and it just works well. So with the width, I personally like to keep myself compact in the middle to find those quick 1-2 passes, even in a 4-2-3-1 formation. But sometimes you might want to up this to 6 or 7 just to give you that natural width. Now, I was playing in game, even I was playing about with these 2 depending on the opponent that I came up against. But usually I start with 5, see how I get on, and then move up to 6 if I've got some issues. Then play inside the box, or players inside the box. This is where you will notice a difference between keeping a strong defense and not getting caught on a counter attack. So when I go into a game and I know it's a good player, I do knock this down a little bit and I play more possession based. If I find myself coming up against someone that isn't as good defensively or is looking to take the game to me, then I start whacking this up because I'll be able to catch them on counterattacks, and I know that I'll be able to get the goal and not get caught. So the rule that I have is if I'm against the worst player, I have this up. If I'm against a good player, have it on about 4. But 5, 4 is natural for me and it just works well. The corners, right? Because I never cross the ball and it never works, why do I have players inside the box? There's no real point there. I have it on 1 or 2. I have been testing it out on 1 and I just play it short, and then with these tactics anyway, I'm playing possession, so naturally after I've taken the corner, they drift into space inside the box. So personally, I have it on 1. You guys can experiment with that. And then the free kicks is pretty much the same thing. It's hard to score free kicks, but what you want to do is have options like inside the box and around to play it short, like the quick one, lay it off, do a ball roll and hit it like near post or far post. So those are the custom tactics that I use for a 4-2-3-1, and I'm always looking to change. Like recently I went over to the RTG and I'm playing a 4-2-2 now. So these tactics, put it this way, this is to control the game for me and keep a very good defense. If I'm wanting to be a little bit more attacking, then obviously I'm going to switch things up, and I'll keep you updated with all my instructions and tactics. So with Mbappe, I get him on getting behind. Now this is a bit of a weird one, right? Because they've patched the game and there isn't really that breakaway speed, I still believe that Mbappe is pretty good on the counters. So that's why I have him getting behind just in case I'm about to catch my opponent. I don't want him just standing there. So with Grincha, who's going to be playing as my middle cam, I've got him on stay forward, as I don't really need him to track back because you're about to see some other tactics. So Grincha stay forward, just so I've got the option to play it up to him. Mane with the stamina, come back on the defense, and I think that's going to be important against the better players, just so you've got that pressure from the top coming down, which it's worked well for me. And then also Neymar, although he doesn't have great stamina, I also have that tactic, and I never have to sub him off anyway. So come back on the defense for the wide cams, all important. The two CDMs, I've got them on, well, Vieira stay back, and then Hullet on balance, because Hullet is better going forward, and I want a bit more support in this formation. Then I've got him on balance. If I'm wanting to see out a game, stay back while attacking. Cover center though, this is the important tactic, boys. Cover center, because I have my fullbacks to stay back, there is no reason for them to like cover the wing at all, and especially with Mane and Neymar dropping back, it's a very defensive tactic, right? And it has to be when I come up against these better players. So Neymar, Mane gonna drop back, offer the support there, and then Hullet and Vieira are gonna stay in the middle. And then with Mendy and Zambrotta on stay back while attacking, there isn't really too much movement, and I do feel for the most part very secure defensively, and the defense wins me the game. So I only score like 1 or 2 goals, but I still get the goals, and then the defending takes over. So what I want to do now, boys, is just go into some clips with what I had recorded as I was playing the weekend league off camera, but I was still recording through the Elgato. So I got some highlights for you with some awesome goals, and you'll see this team in action. And if you guys can recommend any like fantastic players that you want me to try out, I'm thinking, because I've already used Grincha, I'll show you his stats anyway, 50 games, 32 goals, 25 assists, really like him. But as I've been using Grincha, I want to try somebody else maybe in the attack, or even drop Zambrotta. I won't sell him, but I'll go and purchase Alberto, the Brazilian right back. So any ideas and recommendations, put it in the comments. And I did go and purchase Virgil, by the way, 495,000. It was a beast. In the last 15 games, he did turn up. And I was using Allison and he was awful. So I went back to the Steganov chemistry and he's a beast. Let's go into some clips. So the situation I find myself in when I do come up against these top 100 players is, for the most part, they are naturally better at the game than me. So I've got to show respect. There's no point in me approaching the game and whack the players inside the box up to the point where I just continue to overlap, and I cause myself gaps in the defense, and then my opponent will exploit that. So play it safe. And if you are against someone who is controlling the midfield, I feel like that's what makes a better player. Those that know how to put on pressure in the mid, really good player switching as well at the back, they're not rushing their play, and it's so difficult to break them down. So that's why I've got to keep myself nice and secure, don't give up that early goal, and try my best to slowly pick my opponent apart, which obviously is going to be harder because you don't have too many players available in the attack, but my good God, do you keep yourself nice and secure at the back. And that is what's key for me to be able to get wins against the top 100 players. Because I swear to you, if I approach the game in any other way and be too attacking, my player switching in the midfield is decent, but it's not at the level of these guys. They are so good at just putting on pressure, and I really just don't know how they do it, man. It's just an art, right? And it's very hard to teach, and unless you naturally pick it up, or you know like when to play a switch at the right time, that is what the skill gap is, in my opinion, at the high level. And I'm not that great with it, so I just let them take control of the game. I drop myself back, I take my time, I pick them apart, and if I do get that goal, then you know for sure they're going to start pushing out. And with this team, it just allows me to catch them on the counter even more so. And that's why on the RTG, what I was noticing is that the performance this weekend, we were very close to receiving elite, even with that team. Like I had Konate at the back, Mukele, like just a standard RTG side, but I was so defensive. And they couldn't find a way through. And as I was keeping my head and sticking to a game plan, which was possession based, working the play properly, finding the room, I wasn't really overcommitting in the attack, but I was still able to create chances if I was playing well. But if you are someone that just is looking at your attack and you're not getting anything from it, I'm also trying to make adjustments as well on the RTG, where I find the balance of having maybe a couple more players in the attack so I can play it just a little bit faster, but also keeping myself secure at the back where I'm not overcommitting, and it's just like so structured, and that's what I want to find. So with a team like this, obviously, it did carry me in a few of those games, but as it went on and I did come up against the top 100 players and those that had finished in Elite 1 on FIFA 19, these guys are very, very good at the game. And it's opened up my eyes that I need to get better, and I need to be able to grind out the wins. But hopefully you have enjoyed the clips. Garincha is just fantastic. For 1.2 million coins he's come down to now on Xbox, you really have got yourself a complete player. Dribbler, fantastic finisher, passer, he's got the pace, he is awesome. And then with Mbappe and Neymar, I love them both. And then Hullet and Vieira as my two CDMs, god damn, are they good. And then with Mane, Inform Mane, he has come alive a little bit more towards the end of the run, getting a load more goals and just feeling incredible on the ball. He's so fast with that strafe dribbling. And then Virgil van Dijk came in for Laurent Blanc, and he is a beast. But I might change up the defense for the following week. So yeah, if you've got any recommendations, let me know who you want to see, and I've got the rewards from this run tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like. Hopefully the tactics help you out, but like I say, it's all about mindset. You've got to play possession based. Don't do anything too silly, otherwise you're gonna get caught. Thank you very much for watching. Team out. Peace.